This episode of FilmRiot is brought to you by Domain.com. Welcome to FilmRiot Mondays. We're going to answer some questions, but before we do, we got new wristbands.
New wristbands.
They're light gray, as you can see. I love them. So now I have the black and the light gray
sexy.
that I can
Cool.
swap in between, which go on sale this Wednesday. We have all our wristbands back in stock. We got the black ones, we got the gray ones, and we have VFX or dye wristbands now.
Green.
Which are green.
They're so green.
And Stark hasn't taken off since we got them.
No.
That's it. Question. When recording, can you use two different types of cameras, or is it better to use the same type of camera? It's always better to use the same type of camera because it makes it a lot easier to be able to match those looks, but you can totally use different cameras. I do it all the time. I shot a project which I had a C500 and a C100 on, and then combined them. Those are a lot closer, but I also shot with a Red Epic and a 5D and combined those shots since I was delivering just straight 1080 anyway. C100 and a 5D. We just did something with C100 5D and an iPhone. They didn't match too well, but we weren't really trying for it. We kind of just threw it up there and did the thing. It was more about what we were doing than it was about shooting it. But you could, if you spent the time to do it, you could match those well enough and get them to cut together pretty seamlessly. How does it feel to be on Wikipedia? It's cool. It's cool. It was the day that happened. I was like, hey, that's pretty cool. I'm on Wikipedia. Continuously, I just feel like, why does anyone care? But I'm glad people do. The real question everyone has been thinking about is Josh real or CGI? He is half man, half robot with a bit of insect DNA. Kind of like if you saw The Fly, you'll know what I'm talking about. I won't say which half is robot, as it is quite remarkable. When comes the new short film? We're working on something right now that we will probably announce pretty soon, and we're gonna be releasing next year. So, yeah, soon. What's the biggest risk you've ever done for this business? I don't take too many risks. I mean, all the risks I do take are calculated risks, and I try not to reach beyond my means at any given time. That's why we've been able to sustain up to this point. I would have to say that probably the biggest was the day that I decided to quit my full-time job and go full-time Triune and just focus on that 100% when FilmRiot and other things that I was doing at the time really wasn't making enough money to sustain me. I just decided to go for it and try to make it work. Lived out of my car for a little bit there. That was scary, but it worked out. How far have you gotten into making a project before scrapping the entire thing, and why? I don't really abandon many projects. If it gets far enough to where I'm writing the thing, it usually gets finished to some extent. If we don't make it, it's an idea that's on the back burner in my box of ideas that I can jump to eventually make, but I don't ever fully scrap anything. I don't really trash anything unless it's in the idea phase. In the idea phase is usually when I'll throw things out, when it's just not sticking, not something that I get excited enough about to actually start writing. But once it gets to that point, once I'm writing it, it usually gets finished. What's a good way to get into acting? Start acting. You have a cell phone. Even if you don't have anybody around you that's making anything, you have a cell phone that you can start filming yourself, do monologues. Until you're acting and watching that back and really rehearsing that way, you're not gonna sharpen your skills. So even if you're not showing anybody, if you're continually picking really great monologues to try to pull off well, and you're filming yourself, watching it back objectively, finding out what you did and didn't do wrong, and then after a while when you get comfortable, you can start showing other people and have them critique your monologue, and then after that you can put together a little reel of monologues and get it out to other people. If you do have people locally that are doing some stuff, do whatever you can to get into any production you can, even if it's not acting off the bat, even if you're just helping them carry things, and this goes for any position you want to do. Even if you're just helping people carry something from point A to point B, if they're doing cool stuff and you want to be involved, start there, get to know them, and then start working up to the things you want to do. Always come with a humble attitude, know where you're at, and just work your butt off to get what you want. When is Pimp Your Production coming back? We're actually working on a new episode right now.
Solid fist punch, man.
Thanks, bro. Last question, thoughts on using Kickstarter? Have you ever used it? I think Kickstarter is awesome. It's basically bringing a group of people together who decides they want something made, which is great. Of course, there is a large amount of people who abuse this, so you'll get a lot of Kickstarters sent your way, which we talked about on our Creative Live thing, the do's and don'ts of Kickstarter, where people will send you these Kickstarters where they clearly don't have the idea set to where they're ready to go with it. They clearly don't have a plan in place that's going to work to get this production actually done. And a lot of times the video doesn't even reflect a good end product, so it doesn't really give confidence. So people just kind of throw this together because they're like, hey, easy money, where that's not the case. You shouldn't put something out if you're going to do a film. If it's a film and you're asking people to give you money, you need to put something together that gives them confidence that you're gonna deliver on your promises. And if it's like a poorly lit video with terrible audio, we're all thinking that the end product's not gonna be so great. So make sure you have all your pre-pro done. This thing is ready to go before you put a Kickstarter, and you put all your energy into getting a good Kickstarter video together. A really fantastic example of how Kickstarter should be done is Ryan Booth's new Kickstarter for his Cereal Box pilot TV show. It is one of the best that I've seen, and one that I am absolutely backing because I want to see this 100%. He puts out amazing stuff. Cereal Box is already a proven property that is excellent. You can check that out right here if you want to see what I'm talking about and have a really good example of an awesome Kickstarter. Domain.com is a place to go if you're trying to get yourself a website. They got the hosting plans that are reliable and affordable, the domain discovery service to help you pick the right name for you, and when you use a coupon code FilmRiot at checkout, you get 15% off your domain names and web hosting, because when you think domain names,
Think domain.com.
Logo.
So that's it for today, which means it's time for my suggestion of the week. This one is not online. It is a Blu-ray, Edge of Tomorrow, because one, it's a fantastic film, one of my favorite of the year, and one of my favorite sci-fi films in a really long time. But two, the special features are great. They have this really long documentary about the making of the film, and it goes behind the scenes for a lot of that, a lot of excellent, excellent info. So definitely check that out. But that's it. Until next time, don't forget to write, shoot, edit, repeat.